guys, welcome back to the Rebellion. So sorry we were gone for a couple of weeks. With all the activity and unrest in the country and our own little chunk of the wood over here, we were just trying to get some positive stuff done in the corner. And we're sorry if you missed it. We're glad you missed us, and we're sorry we were gone. But we're very happy to be back. And we're going to talk this week on other things about freedom versus license, which is kind of really important. It's kind of close to home because obviously this is a time when people are ever more concerned about their freedoms. They're being taken away, being denied. That's why people are protesting. And among those groups, there will always be those who either deliberately or foolishly cannot understand the difference between freedom and license and will use that as an opportunity to do the kind of stuff they shouldn't. Or even a class example is illegal fireworks. Now, where we're at, man, it's just illegal fireworks. I'm not going to say it's a good thing or a bad thing in and of itself because I'd be a hypocrite if I did because I love them. But there's a couple of people, actually a lot of people, in the San Fernando Valley elsewhere who have been burned out of their homes because of it. So as much as we're all for fun and jollity and having a good time and celebrating, again, your freedom is righteous, man. You have that freedom, but you have the freedom to play with whatever you want to play with and do what you want to do, but not when it takes away someone else's freedom to enjoy the safety of their house without it being burnt out, you know? And similar things, people taking advantage of there not being cops to shoot people. A whole bunch of little kids got killed, shot. And that just ain't cool. Anyway, I'm going to let Rebel chime in now, but I just want to say, people out there, we know most of you are the good-hearted type. I doubt any of the people that are listening right now are the type that are hurting anyone or do anything like that. And probably they're your neighbors at best, and acquaintances at worst.
Yeah.
But just hold a positive hope in your heart, and things should even up, and we'll get going better.
Hey, so welcome back to the Rebellion. I'm trying to get it started live. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, but we'll see. Anyway, I wanted to talk about, there's so much going on in the world right now. Just so much. And
it's hard to focus on any one thing because you get burnt, oh my God, the coronavirus, oh my God, the shootings, oh my God, the fires, oh my God, now China and India going off, oh my God, now this is going off, and now so-and-so guy.
Yeah.
Ghislaine Maxwell, it's just information overload, oversaturation.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Desensitized.
And it's and there are reasons, and I can see some of the reasons, and it's just a lot of it's, although there are physical reasons, there are also spiritual reasons for everything,
I'll just say this, guys. I've never been a doubting Thomas, but in terms of astrology particularly, I just thought that was the biggest bunch of hoo-ha. Come on. Seriously, give me a fucking break. The motions of the planets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, whatever. But since I've been with her, she has told me over and over of the situations, no, it's just retrograde right now, and could not have been, pre-programmed psychologically. She didn't say anything. I just, it's terrible, and over and over and over, when things go retrograde, shit gets bad.
Yeah,
okay?
absolutely.
And I am absolutely convinced of that through as much empirical verification you can get, simply in terms of, it's retrograde now, and things are popping off, and it's getting really ugly. Wow. And right now it's retrograde for four planets?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn, and Venus. It hasn't been like this in history in 3,000 years.
Yeah.
Maybe, when all four were retrograde.
All four are retrograde, plus there are some specific alignments that happen during revolutions. And it's all, it all comes together. Basically, some of it's a timing thing, and the elites who do take, the elites who actually, welcome back to the Rebellion, guys. I'm going to try to set this thing up so you can see me. We could probably
look
the other way.
Just lift it, honey. There you go.
Okay. Hey, so basically the people who are elites who do the heavy manipulating, the heavy manipulating, those people know about astrology, No. Those people know about astrology. They know about it from way back because they've been relying on it for hundreds of years. People who really consider themselves royalty or nobility, in most of the elites the British elites consider themselves to be nobility, even if they're not direct royalty. They kind of consider themselves that anyway.
Seal being taken down, the palace being blown up, the windows. There's no more actual regimental guard there. They're just Gurkhas now.
Yeah, this is something I've been keeping up with this, and I think I'm one of the few people online who's keeping up with this. But the palace has been boarded up with green paper. All the windows are boarded up with green paper, and one of the seals, which is apparently the Queen's personal seal, is missing, and has been missing for over a month now. Over a month. And on top of that, the guys with the tall hats, all gone. They're all gone. Gurkhas are there, and Gurkhas are actually Indian guards. They're not the normal red guards with the tall hats are there anymore.
No. And most Gurkhas are Sikhs.
Yeah, they're Sikhs.
And Sikhs never surrendered to the British. They did not ever sign an accord. They did not ever surrender. Historically, they have never capitulated to British rule, British authority, or British domination. So the fact that they are the ones now taking over is incredible.
Hey, Melissa, I'm so glad you're here. This is it. Yeah, they have. And, oh my God. Don't be afraid.
You know,
there's no reason to be afraid.
There's what people think the way it should be. Oh, we need to be super, by the book on this and that. And like, I agree that a lot of times, you gotta, a little heavy-handed, but you have to know the reality of your reality, so to speak. And the reality up here, where people launch fireworks all the time, even in best conditions.
Yeah,
right?
they do.
They've been launching them here literally for the past 4 months, almost every night.
It's been ridiculous.
The idea, and the thing is, not our mayor, but the mayor of Lancaster, which is next to us, said, we're going to have a fireworks show, because he knew if he didn't, there were already going to be fireworks galore. If he didn't do that, they would have burned the place to the ground.
It already was really bad because there was a lot of illegal fireworks. But Mayor Paris was out there going like, he had to pulled the thing and he flipped the switch himself.
It was nice because we got people coming up to Little Rock, all these little areas to have, things for their kids, and they all parked nicely and everything was cool and no one had a problem. You know what I mean? But it was usually, my block literally was maniacal.
Yeah.
If you guys have seen
all night long here.
If you've seen any of that footage of like just the San Fernando Valley or downtown or how many things were going off, multiply that like tenfold with some even higher ones. And that's what it's like in Palmdale. It's like constant fireworks. Right. And I gotta say, I enjoy this as long as it's happy and safe and no one gets hurt. And for the most part, because it's spread out up here, even though it's really dry, people didn't have hoses on hand. You didn't get the problems where you get in other places where palm trees and stuff catches fire and people get burned out of their homes or apartments, because that sucks.
Yeah, that does suck. That sucks a lot.
And it wasn't that people were just getting away with it scot-free either. Apparently, they were flying drones around and they caught launching fireworks. $3,000 fine.
Oh yeah.
So I'm sure a lot of people are going to be getting a little notice in the mail a week or so from now and getting taxed a pretty heavy bill.
Yeah, it's been crazy though. Like, it's been nonstop since May, since the first protests over the masks started. That's when the fireworks started, and then it got worse with the riots.
So cool. You want the freedom to launch fireworks? Right on. But do you have the license to injure or threaten anybody else? No. You don't. You can't stand between freedoms and license. You know what I mean? So people want to go out and protest? Absolutely. People want to fuck with you while you're protesting. You defend yourself. You got that right. You're walking out protesting, and you see someone you don't necessarily feel too enamored of, and maybe in a different situation you wouldn't feel able to kind of, throw down with them or whatever, but now you're emboldened. And, it happens. That's mentality. But I've seen some people out there like, fuck you, man, right away. Oh, hey, back off on the rah, man. As long as they're not actually threatening you, don't get too vociferous.
You got to keep it peaceful. I mean, a lot of this, I see this as a test, okay? Like, literally, it's so simple. If we're thinking of other people, if we're caring, if we're thinking, what are my actions doing that might impact another person, then you're doing the right thing. If you're trying to fight for the right to not think about other people's rights, you're failing. And you're going to put yourself in a situation where you might get sick or something else might happen to you because if you're being purely selfish, you're going to be unconsciously making the choice to leave. And that's not the way I want it to happen for you, So just,
the problem is
whatever you do, think about other people.
No, good job. The problem is that there's a line between selfishness and selflessness, and that you see we got a lot of hot rodders out there. Let's say people go, you're not doing this thing, I think you're being selfish, but you're going to say, but the reason I'm doing this selfishly is because of my family.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not doing it just for myself and my thing. I don't want to go to this job because my girlfriend has a respiratory condition, and I'm not willing to risk her getting sick off it, even though I can get some money. So, hey, what's up, guys? So, again, and the problem is a lot of people are being very selfish because they don't understand that the mask is to protect others. And then the ones that actually do get that, like, there's actually a lot of mental illness out there, guys, that goes undiagnosed or unacknowledged. because of the level of it.
That's true.
In the same way that, like, a cold goes kind of unacknowledged. You know, during flu season, like, oh, sniffle, whatever.
Yeah,
I mean,
people just are,
there's
they don't
a lot of
want to
people
believe
out there that are dealing with all kinds of personality disorders, whatever, and a situation like this just exacerbates it. Any paranoid traces, any you know, antisocial tendencies, they all just get worse. You know, so people will be out there deliberately doing dumb shit, not wearing a mask.
Yeah, there are
people because they don't want to wear a mask. You know, calling, and of course, and there's just petty people who've always felt privileged, who've always felt like, no, I've always been in power and control, and always, like Amy Cooper, like, yeah, lady, you.
That was not cool. That lady, she makes all white women look bad, and we're not all at that level of privileged or bad.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody, it's nice to be privileged enough not to be harassed by the cops for your color of your skin, but I've been harassed for other things,
but here's
and a lot of people are. So,
that
you know,
occurred the same day that George Floyd got killed.
Yeah,
okay?
Exactly.
And they're directly connected. Even if she didn't actually call the cops on George Floyd, the fact was she is symbolic of that sort of culture and mentality that you do what I tell you or else. I don't give a shit if you're right or wrong, or this or that. I have power.
These were the white women that would accuse black men of rape in the ancient, in the like the freaking South.
He looked at me. He touched me.
You know what I
mean? My woman. And that's the thing
about
this. Yeah,
crazy. Like this is a level of privilege that's like above what most of us have. Okay, this is like somebody who comes from money, who's like, oh, I don't have that much money.
Yeah, she threatened and he wasn't doing anything. Just saying, hey, put your dog on a leash. That's polite.
You know
what she had right to. But then she said, well, I'm going to tell them that you, a black man, assaulted me, and that was clearly conveying. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that's
white privilege.
That's like,
they're going to understand this as being. It's like, this is why people are writing and losing it and getting stupid.
Yeah.
You know, because they have just felt so hopeless and so helpless and so frustrated.
And then once again, the astrology plays into that. Like we have all these planets that are in positions that they're in that instigate revolutionary thought and actions and stuff. And at the same time, we've got, and because of this, probably we have all this stuff happening because of, and the elites, like I said, they know astrology. They understand the timing. They know it better than you do. They've been keeping track of this stuff.
This is their way of population control. As we said before, again, their number one, the biggest concern to the truly wealthy is how many of the others are reproducing.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Truly.
That's it. Yeah. That's their biggest concern. Not much. It's like, you guys just keep having more of you guys.
Yeah.
We want way less of you guys, so how can we get rid of you? You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's what Agenda 21 is actually about, tricking you into making stupid choices so that you'll die. And so that they can say, we gave them a choice, even though it wasn't much of a choice, it's still a choice technically, and they chose to do drugs, even though their life was horrible because of us. They didn't have to do that kind of a drug and get addicted to it, you know. And of course, you know, and they don't care. They don't care. That's what DARE was about. It was about making it an all or nothing thing so that it'll be glamorized to a certain number of people so that they'll take themselves out of the equation.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And the same thing with PRC, you know. Tipper Gore's daughter, you guys know the whole history of that? Tipper Gore's daughter bought a Dead Kennedys album, which had this H.R. Giger painting on the inside called Penis Landscape, which is literally just a series of penises going into a series of vaginas in good old H.R. Giger color and fashion. So, it's pretty horrific in and of itself.
It's
right?
Weird. It's really weird.
When this conservative mom, you know, had her son unwrap this thing Christmas morning, she lost her fucking mind and blew her fucking top. Understandable. Only problem, and I like the Gore against, which is that she, being a senator's wife, you know what I mean, had a lot more power and clout than anybody else to get shit done. And as Frank Zappa so wisely said, you know, Washington wives shouldn't be titillating with the fucking legislative machinery. But better for us, it got there. It was a big uproar. People were all worried about, you know, satanic panic and
that was most of that was hype. It's all manipulation.
Yes, because here's the
time period.
Okay, and you can see it so clearly in that, you know, the previous rebellion becomes the new thing.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, literally 99% of the shit they sell in a Hot Topic, your parents would literally burn or throw away or trash. My parents, I'm ripping this shit, you know, I don't like this poster, I don't like this Four Horsemen poster, I don't like this Judas Priest or Metallica, or I don't like anything that has a skull, or, you know what I mean? I don't like your records, I don't like your black T-shirts. You know what I mean? People, Christian groups that get together, you know, and Black Sabbath is evil, Judas is not a priest, and burn your kids' records, and put them in, Tough Love was real big back then.
Yeah.
Exact opposite now, Tough Love.
You know what I mean? You got to be super tough with your kids. You know, you got to send them to little deep fucking programming camps and shit.
Yeah,
you know
it was crazy.
And
it
now,
was crazy.
For all those kids that didn't have psychotic parents who did that shit to them,
Mm-hmm.
they grew up and now their kids got little blue mohawks and they go buy all that stuff at Hot Topic and it's not a big deal. But by forcing that kind of mentality on people where it was so hyped up and it was so terrorized and at the same time glamorized and shit, they completely inculcated the next generation with a passive acceptance of it by making that generation go so nuts on it. You see what I'm saying? So people who might have been a little more averse to the concept of Satanism overall or some of the darker shit are like, oh no, look how hyped up my parents and those parents getting over it, must not be that bad. And then it kind of polarizes your mindset instead of saying, well, they were kind of dumb about the way they went about shit, but maybe in the long run, you know, light is light, dark is dark, and if people are being hypocrites about it, maybe I could be a little more, you know, realistic about the prospects of both sides.
Yeah, that's the
but
thing.
A whole
a lot
new
of
generation
people
grew up, myself included, just like completely glamorizing the darkness, I think, way more than they should have.
Yeah, it's true. It was the thing to do. Like, honestly, the rare times when people, like Kanye, when Kanye first came out, he sang about Jesus, right? And he's arrogant as fuck, but like, and I'm not a fan of his necessarily, but it was brave of him to do that, and it really put him on the map. Immediately, people were like, "Oh yeah, you know."
President. I don't know if
I would vote for him, to be frank, because oh, that's nice. Hey, James.
Good to see you.
But like, I would vote for him, to be frank, because because at least he is an outsider. And he might be a dick in a lot of ways, but he's probably less of a dick than anybody else involved. You know, he wants to be a better person. I'm convinced he wants to be a better person.
Yeah, at this point, yeah.
And at this point, I'm like, I would vote for Kanye. I'll vote for Berman Supreme at this point, to be honest. If I can, I'll be like, Berman, put Berman in office. I told you he has some good
election fraud already. Look at how many states are having problems with the mail-in ballots.
On top of the pony.
And all the other stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. No, just there's not even any choice this year. You know what I mean? It's not even. I will vote for Berman if I have the chance. I'll vote for him. It's, you know, I mean, apparently he is a libertarian. He believes a lot of cool stuff on top of the whole giving everyone a pony thing. He says, you know. But,
yeah, exactly. You know, she was from World War II. My dad, you know, I mean, whether it was the older parents that were in World War II, or in Korea,
oh yeah, my parents are.
Continues to had that suck it up buttercup attitude. You know what I mean? You gotta get that shit. That's how you get through life. You know,
that's why us Gen Xers are so messed up. We had a lot of tough love. It was really hard. I had tough love, and it was
literally like your parents.
I couldn't even handle it like at all.
Kids today get sheltered. Like, oh, don't send stranger danger.
Yeah.
And as you remember, our parents were like, get out and don't come back till after dark. You know what I mean? We need to be quiet.
Yeah.
Kids played in the streets all the time.
Oh, yeah.
There's a different level of freedom there, too. You know?
I was just so terrified that my son would get molested because, like, it was like my parents turned a blind eye to everything and they didn't notice anything. But I was, like, hyper-vigilant, you know?
There was a quantitative shift in the way people raised their kids in the United States from about 1990, I'd say, onward.
Oh, but,
stranger danger things.
Let me direct this back to something spiritual real quick. So basically, when we talk about good and evil, the way I've understood it, the way that, like, Raphael, for instance, explained it to me, because I'm close with the Enochian angels, so that's where I get my info. I have the tattoos, and I'm telling you, those things, they really did something. I'm not even joking. They did. They worked, okay? They worked, all right? Anyway, so the way I understand it is, like, literally, we're inside of sort of a sonic resonator made up of stars and planets. Each star and planet has its own vibration. That's what they talk about when they talk about the music of the spheres. And it affects our consciousness, our mind. Each thing affects another thing, and eventually, at some level, it affects us. And the energy, when it comes from one direction, when you're focused on one direction, the direction that's natural, like the east, because that's where the sun rises, you would focus toward the east, or the north because of the magnetic poles. But if you focus those ways, you're bringing in the light energy, the holy energy, and the good energy. But if you reverse it, if you focus on west, that's when you get the destructive energy. But I want to say it's not evil, it's destructive. And it can be used positively. You could use destruction to destroy evil things, you know, that are outside of the realm of nature, but it's how you use the energy.
And of course, by the law of causality and polarity, each has its own creation destruction.
Yeah.
East is the air. Air is the highest element. You know what I mean? But air, when whipped up into a frenzy, can cause tornadoes or cyclones or hurricanes. conversely, water is purest life. Liquid water.
Yeah,
is the most
exactly.
there is. But
Exactly.
as anyone who's seen even a halfway decent wave knows, as anyone who's in, Balboa, where we got flooded down here, we had a high surf, high tide, and it flooded. And it's not, again, it's not slamming people. It's just got a little higher. Water can be creation. Water can be destruction. Water can sustain life, and it can also wash it away.
And basically, for instance, when Mercury goes retrograde, it actually the tone that we hear that vibrates from our position on Earth changes to one that's discordant. It sounds like it sounds a little off, and it's why it messes with everybody just a little bit, just a little bit. And when there's more and more retrogrades, everything starts. Now it's like we're in the middle of a Gothic tune, and we're at the part where it's like, bum, 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 and there's all the drama happening, in the music all around us. We don't hear it, but we live it.
It's kind of discordant because, again, everything is vibration. Everything vibrates at its own pace. And sometimes that frenetic vibration feels good. You get your molecules moving. But then later, that same vibration, because it's still vibrating in you, you're trying to move to a different state, it's kind of hanging on. It doesn't carry on.
There used to be very strict rules in music, actually, for how you wrote music. You weren't allowed to use certain discordant tones or play you were not allowed to play in the major key, actually, because it was considered evil to be too
literally
happy.
The devil's chords.
Mm-hmm. But the tritone, which is a diminished fifth, is like the tone they're always trying to get away from, and it's considered evil because it continually and it's discordant. And the whole thing, and that our music is reflective of the planets and how their music is. It's literally like we filter it through ourselves and we turn it into our own music, which is also something.
Is it Jacob's tone or Schumann tone? There's a tone I've
Schumann.
Schumann resonance.
It's Schumann resonance,
As it's going, it sounds like it's going up and then down, and it's never changing pitch or tone.
Oh, no, you're talking about the harmonic choir thing. It is the Jacob's choir. It's a tone.
It's like that. It's just
something like that. But it's a different. But the Schumann resonance. I mean, if you're separated from the Schumann resonance.
Oh well, again, jewelry, man. Almost anything that's a stone has. I mean, look at quartz. And when I was a kid, and someone told me, because I grew up around a lot of science people working on National Geographic, and I love science and I love discovering things. And I was in first grade, and this guy's like, if you put pressure on quartz, it generates electricity. It blew my mind. Wait, stone? I mean, okay, it's not like electric eel. It's not generating a lot, but some. And that's why we had quartz water back then. It's a perfect electrostatic regulator. There's piezo electricity, but most stones that are like a mica, quartz, sandstone kind of thing can be used. And, look at the crystal skulls.
Yes.
Okay? People laugh and poo-poo at the idea, but I'm like, everything in your computer that's running is literally the same thing, silicon quartz.
Here's what they don't.
In one form.
Here's what they don't get. Like, quartz holds memory in the sense that they understand scientifically that you can do electrical things to it and it will hold memory, but it also holds psychic energy, not just electrical energy. And they're not people, like, they've actually taken these skulls and put lasers through them to try to find the hologram. There's no hologram, No, it's not a physical hologram. What it is you hold it in your hand and it connects to your energy, and when it connects to your energy, the information is in there, and it goes into you, and you have whatever you have from it. And if you're not sensitive enough to it, it's probably an environmental factor, like a calcified pineal gland, which happens more to white people than to dark-skinned people, because their pineal is always being used to produce melanin. That's why they're harder to make into slaves. Honestly, white people are a little easier to make
in
passive.
the sense that the pineal gland calcified, you don't feel as deeply.
You don't.
You're not as connected to your humanity.
It's true. You can easily cut off your heart. I don't see this in a lot of Jewish people, but some are masters of it, but not a lot. But I see it in certain types of white people. Not all, but certain white people. I see it in America more. And it might be environmental partly, but the calcified pineal is bad. It's like it's something that we all have to kind of fight against.
One thing I've always noticed that being able to use your brain in both ways is very, very beneficial to it. And I think that the reason culturally that Asians and Jewish people tend to be a lot smarter is that all of them I've ever met. First of all, culturally, there's a humongous emphasis on education.
Yeah, for both.
Okay?
Both
that
cultures.
is just there. But more importantly, both cultures utilize a different writing system than English where they go backwards. where they literally.
Oh yeah, it's actually better for your brain. There's the way that we write.
All the time that
like,
we are kids, we're always going one way. That's it. That's the way our brains learn to write.
Yeah.
But they learn to go back, and I guarantee you that helps develop both halves of the brain much better.
It does. Actually, that's a real thing.
If you notice, they'll have a much bigger and much more well-firing corpus callosum between the two halves of the brain. So I also noticed, doing some research of my own, the people who still practice in some very small areas of Macedonia, Boustefordon, where they literally write alternating lines.
Yeah.
Also tend to have a
yeah.
much better thing, and in terms of stability, they tend to have less of a juxtaposed brain, so to speak, where it's kind of like one side constantly kind of warring with the other side.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where it's,
no, this is what they do to us. They split our brain, especially women. Women tend to have more active communication between both sides. It's almost like we're two people, at least for me, because it's like you're enjoying the sunset, but you're also commenting on yourself enjoying the sunset. Whereas like a dude almost is just in the sunset. He's not even thinking about the words. There's nothing else there.
Yeah.
So it's like if you get those brain. Those apps, they have brain apps that help balance your brain. I have had huge results in how like anybody who knows me from MySpace knows I used to typo and spell all weird. My brain has evolved. I'm not even joking. With weed and that and doing stuff like that.
People tend to put the comma, like space after the word.
I mean, you don't even know how bad it was. He doesn't even know how bad it was. There's only a few people who remember how bad it was. And it was literally, I was just super traumatized and my brain was messed up. Like, seriously. And I needed to freaking work on myself. Yeah. It was like,
Oh, yeah. Absolutely, man.
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. I did the same thing. I was ambidextrous. And then I thought you had to choose, so I chose right hand. And then recently, I finally got where I can write with both hands again.
My school
and stuff.
was one of the few in the nation that actually encouraged left-handed children to write.
Yeah.
That we had left-handed scissors, left-handed notebooks, like everything a left-handed kid needed, they got.
Yeah.
And I was horrified to find out that a friend of mine who went to Catholic school, he personally didn't get it, but his friend got his knuckles wrapped for trying to write left-handed. I was like, what kind of barbaric savagery is this? You're smacking a kid's hand.
Yeah, I mean,
well, the devil's in you, young Satan.
There's a lot of nuns can be crazy.
Yeah.
Like really, I went to school with nuns, and even then, it was like they were so separated from the world that they believed just crazy stuff.
I was really lucky.
Apparently when they saw, yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck was going on with that. They were weird,
So you can mirror, right? That's good. Yeah, practice.
Oh, okay.
Right. All I know is when I shattered this one, I've been writing my whole life, and I shattered this bad boy in a motorcycle accident.
Yeah.
So I had to learn to do a lot of things left-handed.
It's good
if you know what I'm saying.
It's really good for you.
There's nothing like feeling like you're a second grader again. Just, oh my God, dude, look, because what do you ever, you don't.
Like that was one of the few good things that Crowley did. Not few. He did a lot of good things. He put it in this package that was messed up a little bit. But one thing he did is he'd have people walk backwards and do things backwards. It's just do things in reverse. I suggest just do things with your left hand because
that's
it'll
one reason
really
I always
improve
like
your
the
brain
Filipino
function,
martial arts. Because unlike some systems where it's this or that, it's just literally the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Constantly duplicating it, right and left and right, right and left and right.
But real quick, let me go back to the stars. So the way the thing works, and this is one of the reasons that we're in the Matrix, but also in a sense in something else. But because the way that the most astrology worked in the ancient past was the northern side of the sky. If you're going with the Sumerian, the northern side of the sky is Enlil, okay, and the southern side of the sky is Enki, and the middle part where Orion is, that would be Anu. So the whole sky is Anu. The whole sky is Anu, the god, the whole god. And he's split into these two halves. And Enlil would live on a higher spiritual plane. This is why he's the god of air, because he lives in a higher dimension. Whereas Enki lives in a more physical way. And he might be more of an avatar kind of a thing. Over the years, the stories kind of get twisted around and around and around, But either way, the point is we're inside this whole brain kind of complex. And if you are a kind of person you want the easy power you can right now and up for the last long while, destructive powers were easy to get. But if you focus completely on, like, there's Navajo Satanists, actually, who build their houses toward the west because they're just bringing in purely destructive energy for their own selfish purposes.
Skinwalkers.
Skinwalkers.
Oh, that reminds me.
They're skinwalkers. And if you do that, you will become evil. It's just that you'll become a parody of the true God that you're actually an incarnation of. You'll become just the darkness that he lives in, and that's not a real person.
In a time like this, a simple little effective thing you can do is go grab one of these for yourself. If you guys have ever seen these little medallions. Now, first of all, I got to stress out that the blue eye has nothing to do with any kind of white supremacist, blue eye. Just please don't, because people sometimes think that. It's just an ancient thing that literally goes back to like Mesopotamia or before, right? Mm-hmm. And they come in different little varieties. You know, they're usually blue glass with a little blue eye and a little.
Oh, those are really powerful. Those are so powerful.
And you find what house and just hang it up in your window.
Yeah.
Hang it up in your window. It's really good protection against the evil eye. Any wandering negative buckies people might be inadvertently throwing at you, not even realizing it.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
You can usually get them for like a buck or two. So just you have a little crash up. You see someone.
I find that the most powerful symbols tend to come from the traditions that still keep the beliefs alive. Like, this is one of the reasons, like, no one would argue that voodoo and hoodoo are extremely powerful forms of magic. Because, you know, if you tell anybody they've got a voodoo curse on them, no matter how cynical they are, they're going to be afraid, you know? And that's because there's a lot of active worshipers who truly believe, and that adds to it, okay? And the same with, these are Jewish and Middle Eastern, and there's people who truly believe in that stuff. And there's a lot of stuff.
Well, here's the funny thing, though. Even though they're more familiar now to Jewish Middle Eastern cultures, both Jewish and Muslim,
they're universal, though.
They really go back, I said, to Greece.
They go back forever, ever.
Tons of old things. So it's just kind of something that originated way back when. It's just continued through. But you'll see nice that we have like a little hamsa on it, or all kinds of different variations.
The hamsas are wonderful, and there's all these symbols. They all have meaning. They're not just like some of the stories we hear about Prometheus having his liver cut out every day. They don't mean what we think they mean. They're kind of coded.
Oh, no. Well, I said, listen.
Oh, no. Hey.
I'm so sorry. You burned it.
I don't think you're crazy at all. I'm just having trouble reading it from here.
Everything you said is
that's why I keep leaning over.
I know that a lot of people, they might think you're crazy or.
No, we know.
Who
you're not crazy.
You are so mellow and so regular and so normal.
No, we know. Like, trust me, I've been.
You are fine.
Stuff.
You are well adjusted. Mm-hmm. You're sailing on the column.
Yeah, no, listen, you're a real. You get it. You're tuned into the spirit. There's a lot of stuff happening.
You know, I paid off most of my karma, but like I said, I got into some really dark shit. I was a really hardcore Satanist for a long time. I wasn't arguing with anybody. I just got to the point where I was like, I want to be left alone. And if you don't want to leave me alone, I'm not going to waste my time hitting you or even cutting you. I'm not going to do anything that might physically harm me or my safety or my freedom by going to do anything else. I will just fucking curse you.
Yeah.
Seriously curse you, and hopefully you'll die in agony. Everyone can see it. I go, I curse this motherfucker, fuck him. You know what I mean? And it worked like a charm, pun intended, for a while until you get all the negative feedback and all the shit. You're like, maybe it would have just been better to stay the fuck out of a place like Hollywood in the late 80s and the club. But I'm like, well, this is my friends, my scene.
Yeah.
People live here. I live here. You know what I mean?
Let me say something. A lot of people born at this time have partially come from the more chaotic areas, but they're not. That doesn't make you evil. That makes you, you needing and feeling. You know. But that concludes me and CJ, and a lot of people come up, and you actually have parts of your soul that are replaced with dark matter, and eventually you kind of burn it off, and you kind of become a better person. Yeah. But it starts with there's chaos in your life. There's a lot of chaos in your life to begin with.
At a slightly better level.
Yeah.
I kind of descended into the madness, so to speak.
Yeah.
Real deep into the maelstrom. You know, and you do. I mean, you invite that shit. I mean, I wanted to be a wild child. You know, I wanted to ride Harleys. I wanted to hang out with bikers, and you know what I mean. I wanted to fucking.
That's what I'm saying. Like right now, people. This is something they want to get out of their system. They just want to run. A lot of people just want to run and die because that's what they are. They are the angles, the chaotic parts that are turning through the cube. The cube, as it turns, there's certain angles that get bad. The angles are bad, and the curves are good, according to Toad.
Yeah.
So if you're going through the angles, you're going to run into demons. But there's some good people stuck in there who shouldn't really be demons, and that's why people get to reincarnate.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm just saying,
and that includes everybody, every single person.
A lot of stuff I was back in my day.
Yeah, you're fine.
I I've gone past it.
It's something, you know what, there's a lot of stuff in the darkness. If you don't ever look in it, you're never going to find it.
And to be fair, I didn't just sit there and just like playing Slipknot shoes and shit. I would actually wait till I'm sure a person was a real piece of shit.
Yeah.
Because what I learned is normally magic has a funny way of being like lightning and lightning rod, and that you don't actually even have to call it down, so to speak, if you just let them, like, hey, look, do you want to shake this golf club and go stand on the wet lawn?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People bring themselves in, and a lot of times I'd see that just by even thinking about having to do with them being a bad person, that their own shit would take them down and get them out of my life or other people's lives, you know? And it works the same way, and even better from the other side. If you just go, listen, man, I know you're hurting, I know you're a chick, whatever, but your whole game is to drag me down to your level of black darkness and hatred and misery, and I'm just not going there, no matter how much shit you try and put on me, okay? And it literally is just them throwing shit on you.
Yeah.
I don't have to let it stick.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna I'm gonna wash it off, man. And I don't wish you any harm. But the thing is, and this is what you can't throw shit at someone without wanting to throw it yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's true.
So when they're fucking chucking shit at you, they're just desperate. They're just it's like a bully. They just want someone to hit them back down, pity them for it, forgive them for it, move on, take a nice long hot bath and shower, and go about your business. You know what I mean? Because they're leading a bad lifestyle. Sooner or later, it will come back to them. It did for me. I tell people all the time, everyone's heard the saying, if you lie down with dogs, you're going to get fleas. Well, you can trust me. I can speak from personal painful experience that if you run with the wolves, you will learn to howl. And I caused so many family members and so many friends and so many spiritual acquaintances so much pain with my stupid, decadent lifestyle, I regret it bitterly. But I learned, I moved on, I made peace with it, with most of them before they died. So there you go. That's all you can do. You know what I mean? Everyone's going to make mistakes. That's part of the human process. It's a little bitty mistake or a humongous fucking one. It's the same thing in the sense that you just have to grow past it, do your best, and move on from it. And just be honest with yourself about your potential and your growth. Be honest with yourself about who you want to be every morning when you get up. And I know most of you all are. That's why we're all here together, because you guys already get it. I'm preaching the choir. I'm not out there trying to convince anybody anything. I don't have to, because we all feel the same way. We just want to live our lives of peace and happiness. And this brief little time we have on this gorgeous little mud ball, this little blue-green marble spinning through space, we all just want to be happy. We want to be happy too. But that's the problem is even though you might want happiness, or genuinely want them to have happiness, joy in their lives, okay? I learned two things in this life, and they're really what my mantra is. Number one is compassion will cure more than condemnation.
Yeah.
It will. That's just it. Compassion will cure more than condemnation. That being said, the hardest other lesson I've ever had to learn is that it's almost impossible for compassion to overcome true self-condemnation, true self-loathing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's the evil of this world, because they can put that into people. Here's something I want to say real quick. Some people, I saw this comedy thing a while ago talking about karma, where they were talking about the poor starving people in Africa choose to be starving. Here's the thing about karma. Somebody has to do something bad in the first place to get the karma started. Just because someone's suffering doesn't mean they deserve to suffer. And you're not in a position to tell them they are.
Imposing bad karma stopped at some point. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Right? People trying to get good karma, and there's still so many millions of evil motherfuckers just doing literal glad evil, just like, chuckle, cackle, cackle, because they are completely cut off from their soul, cut off their humanity, betrayed by themselves through iteration after iteration, and they're just going down darker and darker and darker. They literally cannot feel. They cannot feel others' pain.
Yeah.
I mean, they're clinical, cultural, genetic sociopaths.
The best that people like that who are cruel can get is 40 negative, because what they have to do is they have to get all their chakras active and then skip their heart, and just connect above it. And you can't get any further than that way. You have to be fully connected before you can move up. So that's why anybody who's really powerful is probably good or neutral good,
Yeah, it's attracted like a lot of shit at the time, but when you look at it from the
it's really stupid. You get stuck with no feelings. You can't have any. I had a past life that the negative shadow part of me. I was talking about the dark matter part, where she was arrogant and shit, but she was raised to be kind of a queen, and she basically got fucked because her whole family was evil, and they were doing stuff like human sacrifice kind of stuff as a part of their culture. And she cared about her people, though. She cared about everything. And it was only almost at the last minute that she understood that she'd been misled. So she got stuck, you know, because she was angry and, like, messed up. And that's what can happen to you. Even if you think you're doing the right thing, if you're not doing the right thing, if you're not being compassionate, you're going to get stuck anyway. It doesn't matter if you thought it was right. Nobody cares if you thought it was right.
My ancestors,
you know?
me basically.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Made a guy eat shit. At the time, I was like, oh, this is way better than lopping off his head or
exactly.
shit. I'll just make him eat shit.
Exactly.
But the humiliation, the psychic resonance of forcing another human being to consume fecal matter.
Yeah, it's
you know what I mean?
So gross.
That's fucked, dude. That is just some bad karma.
Yeah, and it's like you have to understand.
Almost some ways would have been better just to lop his head off. At least then he would have been gone on to his next iteration. I would have had the karma. My ancestors would have had the karma of the death. Instead, it was the karma of that living humiliation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That sense of going on and just fuck you. You know.
Well, there's a lot of stuff going on other levels, but my point is, like, when people talk about, like, Satan, there's many different beings that could call themselves that. Like Iblis is a pretty good guy, and it's his grandson or something, I'm told, and he's a pretty good guy and actually a Muslim. And then there's, like, you know, Enki. I would argue that Enki is possibly Lucifer, but also Christ and a lot of other things. So all these things are just childish to me. I just think we should understand these are higher beings.
I need to make it understood that there's the actuality of what these things are, or in terms of their raw, inchoate matter.
And how we understand them.
And every single person seeing it or talking to it or trying to relate with it is going to have a different experience as to what they experience.
Yeah, it's all about who you are right now.
It's really, really easy to get tricked.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's an old adage about if you're dealing with the devil or dining with the devil, to do so with a very long spoon. You know what I mean? And personally,
it's just that if you're a destructive person and you're pulling that in all the time, you're going to have destructive spirits around you. And those spirits, basically, they're looking for an opportunity. They're waiting for you to be a hypocrite. They're waiting for you to be a liar so that they can take it out on you, what you've done to other people.
Yeah,
they're just waiting for it. They think it's hilarious.
The darkness of might makes right. And as long as you're mighty, you're mighty. You're down. You're
That's how they are.
Like,
that's how it is.
We're going, sucks. But you have to understand that their philosophy is that adversity melts the weak, but tempers the strong. And in a lot of cases, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay? But it depends on the level of adversity, and it depends on how it's being enforced upon you.
Yeah,
what
listen, you wouldn't treat iron the way you treat gold. Okay? Yeah. Gold is a very delicate metal. It melts it's very soft. You wouldn't treat the same way. You wouldn't pound the crap out of metal.
There's a lot of people that are melting and like, I'm so weak. It's like, no, man, you have your shit turned into a blowtorch level.
You're not iron, and you're not making
I'm so strong. Look at me. It's like, man, they're just holding the hair dryer to your shit. Don't get yourself.
Yeah. And that's the problem. Another thing.
Yep.
There were some remote viewers. I talk about those sometimes, but there were several. Some of these guys were used for the government and stuff. And these remote viewers were given a piece of the ocean to look at that looked gridded, like it had something technological there. And they all saw the same thing, which was basically they saw that there was an ancient society 70,000 years ago or so, had a form of technology, a free energy technology that had an accident, tore a hole in dimensions, and all these shadow beings came in here. And basically, it's kind of like what Scientologists believe about things being stuck in your body. They kind of can be. And that was the Enochian thing, too. The whole earth is, like, filled with these. It needs to be cleansed. And that's what we're doing now. This whole thing is about cleansing our consciousness as a whole species.
Yes, cool. And it's
again,
just no hatred towards Scientology, but absolutely no love either, man.
No,
Scientology, it's a goofy, made-up mishmash.
Listen, I'll talk to you about that one day.
Like anything else, there are some actually viable points, and I will, there's always, no matter how goofy a philosophy it is or how predicated, there's always some nuggets of truth in there that you need to read.
Well, let me say that he got that idea from ancient cultures. All ancient cultures believed stuff like that you could have have spirits stuck in your body that calls you
cribbing from Crowley and Parsons and a few other people he knew.
He was basically making cribbing from Jack Parsons and I think he probably wasn't trying to meditate on stuff and figure things out. But that's when you get stuff like thinking that people flew from another planet in a modern airplane because your mind can't picture what the fuck it really was or whatever. It doesn't matter. He was a poser who thought he owned it. He literally bragged about owning the goddess, as in the Babylon goddess that he was part of helping to try to bring into the world. He was a monster, okay? But people in Sumer and ancient times did believe that you could have spirits stuck in your body, like in I would say our DNA, that could cause you illness. And that's, if there's anything to it, it's probably the lower dimensional beings
and
that are stuck
technically,
here.
if you look at it from a purely empirical scientific level, you could argue absolutely that is true in terms of genetic corollaries for all kinds of anything from a mental illness to a physical illness to a predisposition to, being dizzy or having bad eyesight or whatever. All these things could be seen in their own ways as detrimental to human health and physiology. So, there you go.
In a sense, your DNA is like a hologram, and it that downloads consciousness and it preserves certain types of consciousness. Even if the main person is gone, a part of them will live in their descendants and stuff, And you can, and even if you don't have descendants, you're related enough to people that there's actually a whole unconscious that you're
your
inside
DNA
of,
is a literal antenna, and it can actually travel backwards through time, which is how you can have memories of your ancestor. If you've ever been at a height and you feel it, I know what it means. I know exactly how I can feel every bit of going, woo, blam. You know what I mean? Like, you're feeling your ancestor going, street beats off.
That's because it's a quantum antenna too. Like when you have it, like when if somebody died of falling from a cliff, they certainly couldn't have fathered a child after that. They, the child itself must somehow tune in to the knowledge of this, to the feeling of it, that then gets passed down.
I was trying to think of an easy way to put it, or as easy as I could. And this actually, I literally woke up at about 4:24 on July 4th, 2020. And I was like, smack sleep, and I was like, no, write this down. It's that important. So I don't know. Here goes, guys. Basically, think of it like this: the is to be is constantly manifesting from the all that is into that which is and now was. And that's kind of how humans see future, past, present. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Us. You know what I mean? It's all kind of there, so to speak, radiating downward like a big old triangle, and just. Like I always said, I think that as humans, we're not really equipped to see the truth of time or space. And it's something that our senses, at least most of our corporeal senses, aren't able to see. And it's only when we're literally in the dream form and out of our bodies and spirit, that's when we understand what time and space are.
Yeah.
Because when time and space are so limited in this 3D form, and clearly that's not the actual. A brilliant man named John Norton is kind of like a lobster trying to appreciate a Mozart concerto, in that it's there, the concerto's going on, the sound is there, but the lobster simply lacks sensory apparatus, and if it did have human ears and all that shit, it would be like, what's this?
Imagine the music of the spheres, that's literally happening. There are literally notes and tones that are playing in congruence with other tones that change as the planets shift.
If you ever listen to Rings of Saturn, man, that is eerie and awesome and beautiful.
And somebody somewhere, and it doesn't just sound like anything, it actually affects all of our we're living these stories, these vibrations that are part of our reality. And who put that there? That's why I think it's the Matrix.
Yeah, I got.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
I've been on the wagon, haven't had a drink in a long time, and I actually ended up counting some whiskey shots with my new neighbor, a really nice guy. Just over here. He's up there like, all right,
Yeah.
Yeah, I paid for it, and I'm just, it's poison.
is by the way, actually supposed to remove evil spirits rather than induce them. So maybe a little sake once in a while, but
more spirit,
but yeah, you don't want to drink. We don't. I'm not big on drinking that much, actually. I'm more of a once in a while drink wine, But like I keep wine for the spirits, so I can give my spirits wine.
Oh, yeah.
And the local spirits and the
ancestors.
ancestors.
Old Eleusinian mysteries. The whole point was for them was to get to a point, because you've gone so deep into it, where you don't need or even want to get drunk anymore.
Oh, if you ever want to get more psychic, listen, start offering a little water, a little food from your plate, just to your ancestors or to the locals or to any personal god. You'll start to feel more like you can communicate on a higher level.
Yeah, there's some, obviously there were so many.
Oh yeah, that's true.
They just found this trippy antenna at the bottom of the North Atlantic, I think it was, and a few other things.
Oh wow, yeah.
Just looked. It was funny because I was showing her, look at this weird little thing, what the hell could that be? And then we were playing ESO.
Yeah.
Elder Scrolls Online, for those who don't know. And there's these little portals at the Sijic Island where the super high elves of Artaeum live. And I'm like, oh, look, it's the exact same pattern.
I'm telling you, Elder Scrolls is full of occult knowledge.
Yeah, it really
it's
is.
nothing.
When they say they hide stuff in plain sight, they're not kidding.
They do, because
One of these days, I'm going to take you guys to Universal Studios where I walk. I'm going to show you all kinds of hidden Masonic shit just in plain sight.
Yeah. Oh God, I'm gonna start doing more of that, because I do a lot of like interpreting reality and stuff, and I'm getting pretty good at it. So I'm gonna. But like no, Elder Scrolls, like what's it in Oblivion? Originally, it was all the stars. Okay, like the lady is a star constellation. The mage is a star constellation, and they influence the plants, and everything on Earth is influenced by these stars, and everything in the game works exactly like it works in real life. And I'm watching it, I'm going, this is how it really works, though. For a real occultist, this is what you really believe. And it's really interesting because there's a lot of hidden shit. I would say if you play online, Clockwork City, the Sulfasil, I think he's the answer. I think he's the key to everything, you know? Because he's.
I gotta go for Artaeum, but.
No, Artaeum too. Oh yeah, I'm just saying like he's. You want to know who's interfering? Clockwork City is kind of like it's a dead Matrix.
Yeah,
know?
it's a trip.
It's just the Matrix with clockwork, you know. And this guy built it, and you're like, you look so familiar. I don't know how I know you, but I know
you are Stardust.
You are, yes, exactly.
All gold, and I'm sure most of you know, but those of you who don't, every bit of gold on Earth was made in the heart of a sun.
Yeah.
There was literally that shit didn't come.
That's why it's valuable, because you can't just. Not every planet has gold. You have to have been somewhere where it was going to be.
Look it up on YouTube. It's amazing. Basically, what happens real slow is you get hydrogen and helium, and they're just getting heavier and heavier and heavier, and clouds just basically over a long time form what becomes proto-sun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In that, it then starts to form heavier things. Iron, gold, plutonium, blah 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 blah. Right? And the thing gets big enough and heavy enough where it kind of goes supernovas. Right? And that supernova is just flinging out. Infinite particles.
Yeah, and then we happen to be in the path of one,
into a planet.
Exactly.
And over time, all those itty-bitty mills and gold molecules, through pressure and heat, form gold veins, and that's what gold is.
Yeah, that's why if the Anunnaki came for gold, it's not that common. It's uncommon enough that they would need to go to another planet.
There's pardon my French, a fucking shitload of gold in the seawater.
Yeah.
But it's in such minute, it's literally like almost microparticles.
It's a monoatomic gold that we can get out of the water.
Such a pain in the ass to try and get that out of it.
Yeah.
By even the best technology we have now, it would be completely unworth it,
Exactly.
But yeah, all gold is made in the sun, so that's why it's sacred and magical and potent.
Yeah, it's very good for like space travel, any kind of electrical, stuff. It's just amazing. Let's do a meditation real quick before we're over. Basically, I got this from somebody online, and it's really good. You just breathe in, and you feel light fill your heart, fill your whole heart complex. Breathe in as hard as you, and then feel it go up your spine to your crown, loop out, and then back into your heart again. And as you breathe out, it goes down your spine, and then up back into your heart again. Hello. So here we go. In and in. Energy's going up the spine, around, back into the heart. Breathe out. Down the spine, up and around. Filling the heart with light, going up the spine, through the crown, down into the heart, down the spine into the earth, and up, back into the heart, glowing with white light, up and down into the spine. All right. If you do that every day a little bit, you'll fill your heart with light, and that will protect you from everything, basically. You'll just be super lucky, and you won't run into trouble unless you somehow decided to completely reject this and prove me wrong. Then you'll probably attract trouble, But if you want to do this to help yourself, you can fill yourself with this light and smoke a little weed because it is showing protective against the COVID.
Assuming you can do so legally, I don't want anyone to go to jail for
as long as you can do it legally, it has to have both THC and CBD for it to work. But
don't drive her up in heavy machinery. Don't do it around the kids.
But get a little bit in an edible every day if you can. Gives you a little extra protection. And isn't that what the goddess would do? Give us something that can give us food and shelter and medicine, and even more medicine when we need it the most. That's just like that's what she would do. That's what she would do.
Hopefully that'll be one of the better solutions to the oil and petroleum crisis.
Yeah.
We're going to make hempcrete and
hemp fiberglass.
Hemp glass, yeah, all
You
that
know,
kind of stuff.
you
I mean,
can
we can
make-
make it now.
it's
very
amazing.
easily done. Just
Yeah.
obviously, a lot of the industries out there
Yeah.
all line up other things, and you know, they're loath to give up their foothold. In the
We should
industry.
stop growing corn and wheat and just we could grow hemp, you know, and raise some
Well,
animals.
They're doing a lot more. We're
you
doing
know?
out here in the old Antelope Valley. We're doing a bunch of hemp.
Yeah, well, they're switching to hemp for everything out here. We grow a lot of alfalfa, and so they're switching to hemp.
And I know tons of farmers throughout the southeast, you know, Kentucky and other places, personally had to grow it for the war effort. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but back in the 40s, you needed to set aside at least a third of your acreage of whatever it was to grow hemp specifically for the war effort for cordage and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them just kept doing it because it's, you know, it's a viable crop, you know. Yeah,
Oh, it really
is.
Yeah.
It really is the key.
Oh, God, it
Oh,
is.
thank you.
It's
But
such
listen,
a blessing.
just the fact that you guys have the least bit of happiness or a smile or feel entertained or enlightened or informed, that's why we do this. That's why we could feel bad about taking off a couple of weeks for it. But, yeah, it was just...
It was a stress. I know you
it
guys
was
probably
really
had it,
bad
too. It
here.
was so stressful. I mean, my town was on national news for horrible, horrible reasons.
Yeah, it's just
You know,
really...
I was like, LA's very... And we're slightly less racist by comparison. I've always been proud of that until now when there was a lynching. And I'm like, but it's got to come out. You know?
Yeah, you know.
It's got to come out.
Poster.
I'm tired of it. Everybody's
the old
tired of it.
naval ship.
You know?
Yeah, tons of it. Good man, Mark. Yeah, I actually got to meet Jack Hare, nicest guy in the world, absolutely righteous. You know, unfortunately, didn't get him to sign my copy of Emperor Wears No Clothes, but that's okay because, you know, I was just happy to meet him and say hi to him. Those guys. Anyway, we're going to wrap
We're going to wrap it up. We got 1 minute to go. It was so great seeing you guys again. I'm going to try to be good on Facebook so I can come back on Facebook. I'm just going to be mellow on Facebook.
To get the Facebook police to slap the old...
I don't even know what I do, but I'm going to be extra careful and just post my own stuff. So, you know, I'm probably going to do a little more music too. So
you guys have a good week.
All right.
Be safe, be healthy, love one another.
Thank you
love
for being here,
yourself.
Melissa. Thank you guys, everybody. Daniel, I'm so happy to see you.
Thank you,
Omar,
Thank you,
Mark, you're awesome.
Thank you
know
for
you're
tuning
awesome.
in, James.
Yeah, thank you guys. I love you. Bye-bye.
We'll see you next week.